Hello, did you know that SMEs contribute 50% to our nation's GDP and SMEs employ 70% of our total country's workforce? However, SMEs die at an alarming rate of 50%. It is for these reasons that we have created the Enterprise Show to discuss issues around SME survival, SME scalability, and SME growth. Are you an entrepreneur? Do you think you are not being heard enough? Follow us on all our social media handles and subscribe to our YouTube channel to be part of the Enterprise Show. I am your host, Kemfon. Hello guys, welcome to another episode of The Enterprise, brought to you by Nexus Studios and the Akwa Ibom State Ministry of Trade and Investment. The Enterprise is a show where we talk about businesses, startups, and how they can grow from one point to another point. So it's glad to have you as part of the Enterprise. Today we have on our Enterprise seat Miss Edima Afangide, the creative lead of Hive. Welcome to the Enterprise, ma.
Thank you.
It's really good to have you. It's really good to have you. You're going to speak up a little bit so we have some life on our show, right? So how has it been so far running your business, Hive? By the way, how long have you been running Hive?
Hive has been in existence for 3 years.
For 3 years?
Yeah.
Okay. So walk me through it. Where did you start? What were the loopholes and where are you at this point?
So, getting into the fashion industry was like, it wasn't really clear at the start. So it was just like, I have always had a thing for clothes, right? Especially clothes on women. I've always loved beautiful women. So I just thought, okay, maybe I could learn how to make this, So I got into it, but it still wasn't clear. I was just doing my stuff, just me alone, and I continued that for a year. Getting to the second year, it began being clear a bit. So I was like, okay, so I just want to do clothes for women. I just want to make women beautiful. And people were like, why are you not doing for men and women? I'm like, no, my focus is on women because that's what I like. That's
okay.
What I.
So in making, so you said it became clearer in your second year, right? And in making beautiful clothes for women, do you sew any kind of clothes? So any woman wants to wear anything. So correct me if I'm wrong, ashwebi and all the rest of the clothes you guys wear, you sew everything for them?
Okay.
Or you just have a particular niche where you stay on?
So when I started training, I just used to train for everything. The ashwebi, the casuals, the lounge wears, the corporate wears and all of that. But I just began to notice that in the process, behind the scenes where very few people get to know, I discovered that ashwebi, it's beautiful when it comes out, but I'm not sure I'm really interested in the behind the scene because that's where the actual work is, right?
Okay.
So it doesn't give me the joy. I don't have the joy making it when I am making the same feeling I have when I'm making casuals, when I'm making corporates, when I'm making lounge wears. It's not the same feeling when I have when I'm making ashwebi dresses.
Okay.
So when I discovered that, I was like, okay, I think I would just narrow my focus to breathable clothes, right? I used to start the breathable clothes because most of these ashwebi clothes
people don't get to breathe in them.
Yeah. No.
Thank you for letting us know that people don't get to breathe in those clothes, right? But again, you mentioned something that is very instructive for me when you were speaking about your transcending from sewing everything to niching. You talked about the joy in the process. Walk me through it. Is that an important thing for every entrepreneur? Is it something that entrepreneurs should ignore, or is it something that you should always look out for, the joy in the process?
So I see these things people put out and say, trust the process, yeah. Right? So I feel like the process is part of the big picture, right? So there is no result without those little beginnings. So those processes are very vital, they're very important, and it's cool if we take note of them, and how you respond to it is also a part of it. So Yes, I would say it's actually very important for every entrepreneur to note that and to observe and to understand how his or her body reacts to these things and take note of them and actually put them into.
Yeah, because why I asked that question again is it's really very instructive for me, because it's something that we entrepreneurs often look away from, right? It's really a small thing. We don't pay attention to how happy we are. Now. We just want to make the money, and we don't pay attention to how happy we are during that process. And it's really key to hear you talk about the joy in the process. But let's talk about the reason we brought you on the show today, which is marketing. Okay, so walk me through your process, starting out as somebody who was learning how to sew to building the Star Hive brand. How did you put out the brand? How did you market? How did you get people to believe in the brand?
Okay, so it was hard starting out as a student. I was still in school when I went for my first training, and take me back a year ago, I actually didn't think I was going to flourish in the business world. So I wasn't really open to new ideas like that. But I was like, okay, let's just see let's see where this takes us. So I started out my training, and I remember those days when I would go and my boss would be doing things and I'm like, what's going on here? Like, it was all looking strange and weird. I think I literally had dyslexia at some point. But thank God I survived first year, and then I got really invested in the gram, like Instagram, and I saw what other people were doing, and I was like, okay, I think this is gonna work. I just have to put my mind and put everything I want to do together and just thrive, right? So when I started doing that, I started seeing that, okay, I knew I was good at writing to an extent, even though I wasn't a pro at it. And I was like, I could put this into my business. This could work too. So I started writing little stuff out, and sometimes people wouldn't say anything. Sometimes people engaged. Sometimes it worked. And over the years, I got better at it. So launching Star Hive out wasn't really easy, because I think I had a small community, a little community of people that actually liked what I did. They were interested in what I did. They actually liked the way I put out my brand. Lots of people actually tell me, I like what you do. I like how you put out your brand and all of that. And I was like, okay, I like this engagement I'm getting. I like these eyes that are seeing me. So maybe this could work. I could transcend them into being my customers. So I started making clothes first for myself. I just used to wear my clothes and go out, not really to serious places. I just take little pictures and just post them, and people engaged and they like what I wore, and they were like, okay, you're going to make this for me and all of that. Then I got to meet few people. I got to meet people later in life that actually showed me the business side of it and how I could do more, how I could actually make this make more sense. So I started interacting with them often, and they made me realize that there's no need putting this out if it's not bringing money into my pockets and all of that. So I knew that was when I knew I had to retain customers.
Okay, so going back to what you have said, it means the most effective way of putting your brand out there, of marketing your brand, has been content marketing.
Yeah.
And so you have engaged in content marketing. Is that the approach you have used? Because often I hear people say, so we go to events, we go to parties, and we wear our brands, and we talk to people about what we do. Has the word of mouth marketing worked out for you?
Actually, when I hear that word of mouth thing, I've actually been guilty of it, because I'm not really practiced it more. So instead, what I do is I just sit in the comfort of my home and I scribble stuff out. And well, it started out there was something that said people don't read and all of that, but I got to a point where I knew that I had to narrow. I didn't have to write so many things. I just had to give them things they want to hear and things they want to see, and people like beautiful pictures and all of that. So that was what I did. And I'm not really How would I put this without implicating myself? I'm not really, I don't go for parties, so to say. So I rarely go for events. I rarely attend weddings and all of that. So I wouldn't say that is an avenue for me. So, but right now, the writing thing is what has kept me through.
Okay, so how have you managed? And one of the most effective ways of marketing, as we understand from marketing gurus, is building a community. Lucky for you, you started out having a community. But in building a community, the major issues we have with communities is that sometimes you have the community, but you don't know how to convert from just having the community to making money out of the community. So how did you manage having this community and at some point making money out of these people within this community? Because they were in your community, ways because they were in your community, or did they just pay outrightly because they saw something and they loved it and they wanted to support you? So
the discount thing, I haven't really been a party to it because I mean, I don't have so much money. How much do I even have that I want to participate in a discount? I mean, I'll be at a great loss and I can't afford to do that to my business at this stage. So a huge part, 80% of the little community I had, I could build were my friends. So I would think that they actually saw what I did, they liked what I did, and they wanted to be a part of what I did. Yeah. So I feel it's like support. They were literally just supporting me and making sure that my business survive and see the light of day. So if converting them, I didn't really have to do so much. I just had to keep telling them what they didn't know. I did few research. I remember in my early days of writing, I did a little bit of trying to read here and there, going to Google, going to Pinterest, going to Instagram, and just back and forth all those apps and try to get stuff that I am certain they haven't heard about, or probably they've heard about it, but not in a clearer sense. So I just had to put that out, and they were ready to embrace that, know that okay, this is something new, I like this idea, I mean I could practice this and it could work for me. So I just kept giving them what they didn't know and they bought it. All right. As a tradition on this show, you're going to give us one final thought you want every entrepreneur, every person who is starting out to bear in mind as they launch into their business. What do you think is something we should all know? Okay, so I feel like the mistake every young entrepreneur is doing right now is trying to do a lot of things. It's trying to do so many things at the same time. I remember I have a friend that would say, start up, just start it, and then when your business is stable, you can expand, you can diversify. So I feel people just start up and just want to do so many things, maybe because it's interwoven with what they're doing and all of that. So I feel like this is me telling entrepreneurs that you should find a niche and just stay there. Hold on to it. All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Edima Fangide of Style Hive. This is the size of the enterprise for today. Remember to follow us on all our social media platforms, and please drop a comment and we would be glad to send you a reply. Thank you very much. This is the size of our show. Hello. Did you know that SMEs contributes 50% to our nation's GDP, and SMEs employ 70% of our total country's workforce? However, SMEs die at an alarming rate of 50%. It is for these reasons that we have created the Enterprise Show to discuss issues around SME survival, SME scalability, and SME growth. Are you an entrepreneur? Do you think you're not being heard enough? Follow us on all our social media handles and subscribe to our YouTube channel to be part of the Enterprise Show. I am your host, Kemfon Decade.